Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Motivational Monday. I'm your girl, Sanshegay, and this week we are discussing the topic of interviews, do's and don'ts. The quote of the week this week says, "If you fail to prepare, you have prepared to fail. If you fail to prepare, you have prepared to fail." So, this week, I thought I'd do this video as a request from a subscriber who knows me personally and knows that I have studied human resource management in school. They also are aware that I'm in the process of searching for jobs or job hunting, and I've made mistakes. And so she has asked me to share some of the things in terms of interviews that has happened to me and how I plan to fix those, or how you can fix those mistakes. This list is not exhaustive by any means. There are plenty information out there with simple, some may be similar to what I have, but there is information out there if you want more information about interviews, the do's and the don'ts. Now, for me personally, the very first thing is that you need to show up on time. I don't think this one is stressed enough. For me, I give myself some form of lead time. So I leave, if my interview is at 9, and so for instance, I know that traffic and so forth, I try to take all of that into consideration. And I leave my house maybe an hour and a half before, or 2 hours. But either way, I'm giving myself lead time just in case anything is to happen. Also, this allows me the opportunity to get to the destination at least 15 minutes, least 15 minutes before the expected time. So if my interview is at 9, I like to get there at 8:45. This allows me the opportunity to recuperate and regroup myself from traveling. Maybe I'm tired, sweaty, and thirsty. This gives me all that time to fix all of that and relax my mind before heading into the interview, so as to minimize the mistakes or regroup myself after such traveling, especially if you've been traveling from a distance. This gives you enough time to regain yourself, understand? So my advice, reach at least 15 minutes before the time. If you can make it 10 or some minutes before, that is fine, but reach at a reasonable time before the expected time. Another thing is, if you can say it at the time of the interview, you shouldn't be thinking it at that specific time. The reason I said this is I've made this mistake before, to be there in an interview and thinking about something else, and without even realizing it, I've said it out loud, and it was not the most appropriate thing for that interview at the time, and that cost me. The interview just ended abruptly. So my advice is, if you can't say it in that interview at that specific time, then you shouldn't be thinking it. I know this is hard to do because we all have lives, we all have things outside of these interviews and so forth, but try and find a balance where at that moment, during your interview, you put aside everything and just focus on the interview at hand. Another thing is, start researching the company from the moment you are interested in the job. This is before you even apply for the job. Once the vacancy looks interested enough where you would apply, start to research about the company. Find out if their values, beliefs, and attitude match the ones that you have. You're a brand in itself, and you have to keep that in mind. Your brand speaks for you, and you want to know that whoever you align yourself with is also speaking the language that your brand is speaking. So do some research ahead of time. Find out things about the company. If you are into community service development, youth development, you can check if the company those corporate social responsibilities and whether or not those corporate social responsibilities are in line with what it is that you like in terms of that specific area. Again, all these help you to align yourself with the right company. Another thing that you want to do is when doing online interviews, be careful of your background and phone angles. Now, I'll insert clips of phone angles that are inappropriate. Please bear in mind that are inappropriate or just unflattering, right? So this is one of the angles that you don't want. One, it's unflattering. Two, it sends the wrong information. Because you have to be looking like this. Listen, overall, this angle is just unflattering and is not perfect for an interview. So try not to do it, okay? Another angle that you want to pay attention is one, again, you're down low, but this time you're off to the side. So you're looking this way and the camera angle is like this end. You don't want to be doing that. That is not an angle I want to see. Or you have the camera up over here, so no. These are all incorrect angles of what not to do when you're doing online interviews, okay guys? So you also want to be careful of your background. You don't want to be in a background where some clothes thrown over here, so one biscuit bag and 3 sticks back. You don't want to be in that kind of interview. Try and keep your background as clean or as sterile as possible. Maybe you're at home and it's not the best environment for an online interview. If you can at least find a spot inside the house, maybe up against the wall or up against a plain background like this, that will help you. Again, these are important things and they send a message to your interviewer about you. Another thing is think about the question before you answer. This one is a personal favorite of mine. The reason why it's a favorite is I've done it before. I've been asked questions and because I think I know the answer without even thinking about the question, I blurt something out and it cost me greatly. So you want to think about the question before you answer. Think before you answer. That's plain as that. Take a few seconds and think about it. Really think about it. It might sound like a trick question. Sometimes it's not, but it does help to think about it before you answer so as to not put yourself in any precarious positions. Another thing is research commonly asked questions and write out how you would best answer these. I've both been through this and I've seen it also. An employer or potential employer will ask you the simplest question of tell me about yourself and you freeze. It's one of the questions that we freeze the most on inside an interview. Tell me about yourself. Well, as you can see on the paper, I'm so no. Tell me about yourself. You have 2 minutes. Always think of it this way. You have 2 minutes to sell yourself like no other. The reason I said 2 minutes is because I recently learned that in 1 minute, you can say 90 words. Now in 2 minutes, that's 120 words. 120 words to sell yourself is magnificent. But you need to practice and learn how to maximize on those 2 minutes. In the interview, think about the things that would make you seem like the best fit for the job. Use that to sell yourself. It helps wonders, trust me. Another thing that you don't want to do is don't overstate on your resume. But also, you don't want to dumb down your resume either. The reason I say this is you are applying for a job that is looking for somebody on a certificate level. You're on a PhD level. That job is one, not for you. And two, if you put PhD on that, then I, as the employer, look down and see PhD and I'm looking for a certificate, preferably level 2, I'm not going to hire you. One, you are overqualified, and two, I can't pay you. So you want to be careful or pay attention to those little things. They help. Believe me, they do. Always have questions for your interviewer. This is very important. The reason is the interview is a process of getting to know each other. Remember, I spoke about you being a brand? Well, the company itself is also a brand, and they're making sure that whoever they hire aligned with their brand. Likewise, you need to make sure that this company aligns with you, and as such, use the interview to do exactly that. Have a discussion. Don't just sit there and let them drill you 24/7 about everything you can possibly think of, and they'll ask you, do you have any questions for us? No. Wrong answer. Do you have any questions for us? Yes, a few, but I'll just ask these three. Listen, you need to have a conversation. It's a dialogue business. It's a dialogue. Have a conversation. Find out if they align with you. One of the most important questions you can ever ask inside an interview is about the organization's culture. That will help you to determine whether or not here is the fit for you or not. You want to find out those little things. If you want me to do a video about some of the commonly asked questions inside an interview, I can go ahead. Or questions that I use inside an interview, let me know and I'll do this. Another thing is check details of company before making a decision. This is called due diligence. People, a company that is new on the market has called you in for an interview. You are excited, you are over the moon, and you forget to find out if the company is real. Yep, it happens. So what you want to do is check due diligence. If you're here in Jamaica, then one way you can start checking for due diligence is through the company's office of Jamaica. Find out if they're registered. Find out when they were registered. Who is their board of directors? Is this a sole proprietor, a partnership, or a limited liability company? All this is information that you want to know to ensure that the company actually exists. Ask persons about them. Have you heard about so-and-so? No? Have you heard? Yes, I have a friend who went there and they said X. That is one of the most important things you can do. It helps to minimize you making a wrong decision. Again, please me, I beg you, do your due diligence and ensure the company to which you're applying to actually exists. Another thing that you want to do is don't get overconfident in your abilities, but don't downplay your abilities either. Now, again, like I say, these are things that I've been through, so I know what it is that I'm saying. I've been in situations before where I have made it seem as if I'm not worth it. That was not my intention, but that is what came across. You want to pay attention to these little things. They add up. Trust me, they add up. So you don't want to overstate your abilities. Oh, I'm good at using Microsoft Excel. I'm good at using P3 accounting. I'm good at using Brexit. I think that's the way it's pronounced. And in truth and in fact, you don't have an idea what is P3. You've only heard about it. You don't know what is Brexit or any CRM application for that matter, or website for that matter. And you put yourself in problems because I'm now hiring you based on the fact that you can use certain CRM applications. When in truth and in fact, you don't even have a clue what CRM is, right? That can put you in precarious position. That may cost you drastically, and it will cost the company too. So be careful not to do that. Another thing is be careful not to play down yourself. This is so important. Do not dumb down yourself just for the job. Obviously, if you have to do that, then this is not the place for you. So again, you don't want to overstate who you are, your capabilities, your resume, your qualifications, your experience, but at the same time, you don't want to dumb it down either. I think I've said this about 3 times because it is that important. Be very careful when doing these things, guys. Another thing is pay attention to your body language. Now, interviewers like to pay attention to everything, especially if their company has a certain reputation. They're going to look for that specific reputation in you. right? And you want to ensure that you are showing them the best of you. So please be careful to the way you sit, stand, the things you say, how you enter the room. Be careful with your hand gestures. Too much of this and I'm confused, but at the same time not enough, and I feel like you're too shy and you're an introvert while the company is looking for an extrovert. Be careful about those things. They add up. You don't believe me? Try them and you will see. They add up. But anyway, these are just some little bits and pieces, tips and tricks that you can use to help you in the event that you are doing an interview or that you are re-entering that world that you have been completely out of touch with for a while. I hope these will help you. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Motivational Monday. If you haven't already done so, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. And I'll see you all next week in another episode of Motivational Mondays.